Hello everybody and welcome to another Wardy's Waffle Farm update. I'm currently stood in the field where we had our direct drilling demo, and there is one plot at the moment that is a lot better than the others. I'm not going to say which it is at the moment, but this is just a little clip that you're seeing at the moment of that plot, and we'll have a more detailed look next week. There's a lot of wind about at the minute today. I've got a new microphone with a muffle on it that I was told by the Countryfile photographers and the cameraman when they came is the best ones to get. So I don't know whether you can hear me all right or not. I think it's a lot better than it was, but yeah, we'll see. But I've got this plot at the minute is a lot better than the others, but we'll have a more detailed look next week. And also the field behind me is where we direct drilled some oats as well, straight into stubble about 2 weeks before we did this field. So we're going to have a look at that in more detail as well next week. But in this week's update, quite a lot of variation, a lot of little things clipped together. But the main thing is we have got some oilseed rape going out of store. We have also put some more nitrogen on all the wheats. We've got a bit of an update on our office and stable conversion, how that's going, and lots of little bits around the farm. Crop emergence on spring beans, and Nala's been helping me with that. And we've also had, of course, our task audit and a red tractor audit this week, which actually went better than I thought. The auditor didn't want to be put on camera, which is fine, but I've got through the task audit no problem. I've just got one little job to do on the doorway of the one of the grain stores where the corrugated tin is starting to rust away. And this is what you're seeing at the minute, and so he's put that down as a non-conformance, but it's the only non-conformance we've got, so I'm going to have to get a bit of tin found, corrugated tin and some galvanised, which is what this is, you can see, and just get that repaired, that strip across the bottom. But otherwise everything's good on that side. So it was about 8 o'clock in the morning he arrived, and he left the farm at I think it was about 2:30, 3 o'clock, doing both audits. So I was quite pleased with that, so I thought that would be longer. Anyway, yeah, on to this week's update. Hope you enjoy it. Click like, subscribe, come back with any questions as always, and here we go. A quick update of our office and stable conversion. You haven't seen much of this for a few weeks. We're getting there. We're about 90% there at the moment. We've got joiner here and the plumbers arriving shortly. This is the office. This was one of the stables here, and that was a feed room, tack room through there. This wall's been taken out. We're just fitting the bifold doors here, which will section the office off from the meeting room. There's going to be a small meeting room here, so we can blank the office off. And a door there to get to it if need be, and a door there outside. Then in here we've got this is going to be the sort of restroom for the yard for Ruben and Tom and Ian and all of us in the yard. Little kitchenette, toilets, female toilet, bloke's toilet here, urinal toilet going in here, underfloor heating, and got a combi boiler, electric combi boiler, which will be running off our solar panels off the shed roof. So that's why we've gone electric. And then here, so that door was bricked up. Window, all the windows the original size. There was just louvered openings there for the horses. These are all individual stables. And this is a little bed sit for when we have a harvest student. Rather than getting to sleep in a caravan in the yard, thought we'd convert one of these into a purpose-built bed sit. Shower there, and toilet and hand basin going in there. So yeah, purpose-built bed sit, TV on the wall back there, and they'll be hopefully done and finished. We'll be in the next probably 2 or 3 weeks, hopefully. Got to get them decorated, another 2 coats of paint on. But no, looking good, and pleased that doorway was bricked up there and put a window in, but turning out really well. So just going over to the Weybridge office. Ruben and Tom are just having a bit of a clear up. We've got all these samples in here from harvest and from lorries have gone. That's seed beans, and we keep everything in separate boxes underneath, so we're just sorting all these out and get rid of the shed. Some rape samples that have gone, they're going to go in a container. This is the new moisture meter that you saw a week or 2 ago. So this, all the samples, this is what I've emptied the bags from, and so I'm going to tip these in the shed. This will all go with the rest of the heaps we've got in the shed. And there's Tom just taking some beans round, and I think Ruben's taken some wheat samples round into this shed. We do have a few loads of wheat left to go, not many. Only about probably 4 loads there at the back of the combine. We haven't sold these yet. So these are the only loads we're going to have going off the farm that's going to be at £300 a tonne. Yep, there's probably 100 tonnes there. But this is the only lot. And again, it's the same with a lot of it. When I sold a lot of this grain a few years ago, it's the same with a lot of things. I sold them at the time and it was right to do. So a lot of the grain we've had go off farm at 160, 170, the odd bit at 200. But when I did the sales a year ago, a lot of our grain I sell forward when the price is right, when I can see a decent profit, and it was gone off the farm, so I sell it at the time. And you just don't know. It's like betting, putting money on the horses. It could go down as easily as up. But obviously with all the catastrophe that's happening in Ukraine, it has gone up, but who was going to know that was going to happen? And I think sometimes it's a gamble keeping grain until the very last minute. So I do sell forward, and I've got some sold already forward for next November at 280, and I've also got some sold forward for next November at 190. So big differences, but it's all a case of averaging and actually making a profit. And our fertiliser prices this year are good. Our average price for our liquid nitrogen that we're paying at the minute is about £290 a tonne. So we're really, really good, because I had some left over from last year that's brought this year's average down, and I managed to get our liquid really cheap and get in at the first opportunity when the prices came out last August, September. So we're not looking too bad for fertiliser prices. So yeah, just a bit of an update there on our grain sales and fertiliser purchases. As you saw in last week's video, I've currently got a guy here doing our task storage audit and also the red tractor audit. And I did ask him if he wanted to be in on this, and he decided he didn't want to be filmed, which is fine. Not everybody does. So I just wanted to show you what we're doing, but I will go onto the files and a lot of the processes of that when he's gone. But I just want to show you our forklift bucket, which is here, and just talk about that. One of the things that the task scheme is keen on, and task is a trade assurance standards scheme. One of the things they're keen on is to make sure that everything we handle is clean and isn't contaminated. You can see here how shiny this bucket is. It's like glass there, and that's because this bucket we just use for grain. We don't use it for sugar beet, we don't use it for stone or anything else. It's just used for grain. And decent sized bucket, you can see me standing in it. It's sort of up to my shoulders. It holds about 2.7 tonnes of wheat when it's full, and about 2.2 tonnes of oilseed rape. So just again, one of these things, and we have to have it tested as well for salmonella, and we have to send swab samples off. So I'll send a swab sample off from this bucket and one from the pusher blade, and also of the grain store floor, to make sure that it's free from salmonella, and that goes and is tested. A company called Cheshire Scientific test it. Just brought Nala to say hello to Tara, who we said goodbye to just over a year ago. If you turn out to be anywhere near half the dog that Tara was, you'll be a cracker, won't you? So I've just come with Nala to the bean field to have a look for germination and to see if the beans are coming through. And Nala is very keen on chewing my fingers, aren't you, little dog? She's getting on really well. So she's found the bean. Yep, there we go. That's not what you're supposed to do, Nala. Anyway, just looking at the germination of these beans, coming through quite well. You can see here, looking down the rows, you can just see another one there. They're all starting to emerge, but the chopped straw's just hiding it a bit at the minute. Nala thinks it's a bit tiring looking at crops, but yeah, just looking at these, it's dry, but very good job We rolled this. These beans now have been in best part of 3 weeks, and there's still maybe 4 weeks now actually when they started to go in, but yeah, plenty of moisture there, which is good. And this is why we drill them quite deep into moisture, so that we get a dry spring like we've got. We still get good germination. What a day to be out. Skylarks singing above. And all these cowslips, they're all self-set on this dyke bank. Nala's having a look as well. It's all go here today. We're Wednesday morning. We've got more of this fantastic sewage sludge coming. Just remember, this provides us with 25 kilograms per hectare of nitrogen in year 1, plus a whole load of trace elements, a lot of phosphate. So this is wheat after beans last year, and so we stockpile it in the fields now, ready for spreading after next harvest. And we've got Laurie here waiting to tip. We've got Jason here that you've seen before moving the panels, because this field is now finished. There's a stockpile there. We're putting on about 7 tonnes per acre, or what's that, 18 tonnes per hectare, something like that. So yes, we've lost a little bit of crop there with the panels there, but that's fine. The benefit of that far outweighs the small bit of crop loss there. So Jason's moving those onto another field further around the farm, and really making use of this. We'll have, by the time we're finished, we'll probably have around 12,000 tonnes in stockpiles to be spread after this harvest. You might wonder why we have an excavator here when they're bringing the sludge in, stockpiling it, and that's purely just because to keep the heap low and level, because if you pile it too high, it'll spread out and it runs, because it's not solid or dead solid. It's quite loose. If you pile it too high as it comes out the lorry, it will just run away. So they keep it low, keep it level. It just keeps the stockpiles tidy, which is much better for us as well. It looks better from the road as well when everybody's driving past. We're just putting some more fertiliser on the wheats, so we're just filling the bowser up out the tanks. You can just see the level of that one there, just where the dark line is. The other two are fairly full, except we've just got a bit of an issue with the stand. They're really good, these stands, but it dropped down on the road when Tom was going down the lane the other day on its own, and it's bent and broken the bracket there, and it's just splayed out that there a little bit. But they're good stands. You always got them with the trailer, but I think the pin dropped out, and let it drop down. I'm just heading into a school in Lincoln to talk to the children about food and where their food comes from, and they want to see a tractor as well. So Tom and Ruben are using the Case Puma on the bowser for for applying fertiliser with the sprayer through liquid. And so I'm going to take this fast track for the children to see. And it's not washed, unfortunately. We're using it only a few days ago with Easter. It ought to be washed, but I'm going to another school on Friday in Lincoln, so I'll make sure I get it washed for then. Anyway, we'll set off. It's about half an hour journey with this tractor. I've also got Ian's gone ahead in the van, and we're actually taking some little boxes and trays of all the various crops we grow. And I've been to the local shop this morning and bought some various packets of food and things to show what grows in the field, what it constitutes, and what it turns into food that the children and their parents will eat. So here we are, just arrived at the primary school. Came here last year and I brought, 2 years ago now, before lockdown, and actually brought the quad track as well. So that was interesting. Brought the quad track and this fast track. Looks like that area is all coned off for the tractor. There we are. And we'll go and move these cones and get set up with the tractor and also the crops. So we're all set up now at the school. I'm just waiting for the children to come out. I think it's a reception class I've got today, 2 or 3 groups of that. And so just looking at the trays, various trays we've got some barley there, we've got beans, oilseed rape. Here's the various foods that I'll ask them to put in the various trays to see what we've got. We've got some jam tarts that all children love, Kit Kats, some jammy Dodgers, Lion Bar, some bread. Got this cereal pack as well that, of course, all the children have. A lot of them have cereal for breakfast, and then of course we've got a can of beer, which I hope, or I shouldn't think many of them have beer for breakfast, and then of course we've got the oats as well. So we'll go through all these crops, and there's the wheat, and here we've got our oats as well. So we'll go through all these crops of the children in a minute when they come out. So we've got Elsie and what's your name? Arno in the cab looking at the tractor. Is this the first time you've been in one? Yes, I thought so. You were saying about your daddy. What's he got at the top of the roof up there? He does there. Yeah, that's right. That's brilliant. Looking forward. Yeah. So you've just seen all the food and all the crops. Did you enjoy that? And you see, what was that black crop we've just seen?
I didn't even get to touch anything.
The black one. What was the black one? Can you remember? What was it called? Oil. Oil seed. Yes, that's it. Well done. So this is a reception class from Redwood School. Have you enjoyed the last hour? Yeah. And have you enjoyed going on the tractor?
Yeah.
And would you like to come to the farm sometime?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
But my daddy doesn't let me go.
Doesn't he? Why?
And to give him a big clap to say thank you. Oh, you are so lucky.
Thank you very much, children. Much appreciated.
So lucky.
We've just given this field some more nitrogen. This field has been winter wheat now. This is the 4th winter wheat on the trot. Its last break crop was rape, but it was a failed rape crop because of flea beetle. But we are going to maybe start growing oilseed rape in 1 or 2 fields again this year, because we've had a few years without rape, so hopefully the flea beetle might be a bit less pressure. I'm hoping to bring some fields back into rape production that haven't had winter wheat for about 6 years, and so really widen the rotation out and mix it with beans and oats as well. So grow less rape in a year and grow it less frequently, and hopefully be able to get better crops. But just looking at this, we've had another 80 kilograms a hectare of nitrogen that's gone on here today, on top of the 75 kilograms it's already had, so that's 155 kilograms. And up to now, that's 2 applications. It will get 1 more, but we'll take account of the soil nitrogen, and there's around 80 kilograms a hectare in the soil, so we will take into account of that when we get our last dose. But looking at the crop here, nearly up to my sort of halfway, 2/3 way up to my knees, so it is, if you can see that there, so it is looking quite good at the minute. We'll just pull a plant up. The soil's actually remarkably dry when you look in there. Look at that, how dry and hard that is. Heavy clay soil again, as most of ours is. I'll just pull that plant up. See there, good lump of soil with it, but that's surprisingly dry. Quite healthy plants when you look. Bit of browning at the bottom. You always get those leaves, they're going to die off anyway, but generally quite healthy. Variety called Shabras, straightforward feed wheat. Just wanted to show you here, interesting. Can you see that crease? This camera's focusing on the crop and not on that nodule there. But there's a crease in that leaf. And there we go. And you can just see that crease. And that's down to frost. That's just as that leaf nodule was coming through. You can see there's another one there. Just as that leaf nodule was coming through, it pinches it. So as it's coming through there, where my thumb is, and it freezes at night, it pinches that, and that's what causes that crease in that leaf just there. Just see there's the end of my fingernail, a bit better picture. There's the crease. So as that nodule, as that leaf is coming out through there where my thumbnail is, as the leaf's coming out through there, the frost just causes it to get that crease in the leaf. I'm just walking across this field that we planted winter wheat with the Claydon drill. You can just see behind me, and you can see the wider rows when you look down here, and it's not looking too bad now. It's filled in quite well. Second application of nitrogen we're giving it at the moment. Ruben's just up here near the edge of these trial plots, and these trial plots, these are the ones that Agri have put in. All of these, this is one individual little plot. Each one's grown, got different treatments on it, some of the different varieties, and they're all replicated across the area of this whole trial. Ruben's just putting the normal amount of nitrogen on here as we're putting on the rest of the field. See there the nitrogen dribbling out the dribble bars. Not affected by wind at all, this application or this way of spreading fertiliser, whereas obviously the prills are. You can just see there it coming out the boom. So this is getting the same 80 kilograms a hectare as the other field that you've just seen a minute ago. But yeah, these trial plots looking quite good. You can see they're all numbered. This is the seed, this is the variety tapestry with its treatment latitude. This is another one, it is tapestry, the variety without latitude, and latitude's a seed treatment. So you can see here, these are looking really good actually, because if you remember looking back at my videos from from autumn, we actually cultivated this area more than we would have done, because the machines that these trial plots are put in with that can't cope with the sort of rough conditions or the normal conditions that we use our Simba drilling. So just wanted to show you these red flags, what this means. This is half of our sprayer boom, from this red flag to the other red flag in the corner there. So, and then we've got some more red flags, you might be able to see them in the distance. And so this area here on my left here will not get any fungicide treatments at all. So when we go through the sprayer and we run up the tram line there, this part will not get treated, whereas this part here will get treated, and so we'll have an untreated area of this part of the field to actually compare. So these plots here will all get maximum treatment with fungicides, growth regulators, and all that to stop disease and keep the crop short, to stop it going flat, to maximise yield. This crop, apart from nitrogen, will get nothing this side, and all these plots here are replicated here and at other parts of the trial, so you'll get a really good data set of results from here, and to see which varieties are best in this soil type. And it's with Agri, obviously the company you know we do a lot of work with, and this is replicated across other parts of the country as well, and it goes into Agri's national trials data that's accessible to other farmers who are Agri customers. But great doing this sort of thing, and I must say these trial plots at the minute look some of the best we've had, because we've actually treated the ground and worked the soil properly. You can see there, that's a really good variety, new out last year, KWS Dawson. That's a good variety, that one. And I don't know what we've got here. That's Champion, so that's another variety. So just be able to compare all these, and there'll be a little plot combine will come at harvest time, real miniature combine that you've seen, and I'll show you that when we harvest these plots, or when Agri come and harvest them, and we'll get some really good data out of these. It's like this, it's gappy down this side here on purpose, because when this is planted they have the right amount of seed to put this little area on, so this area here will be sprayed out, so we have a clear defined line for these plots when they're harvested. You'll notice we've still got the wide tyres on the sprayer, and that's because we need to spray the sugar beet with a herbicide before we put the narrow tyres on, because we've found that if you put the narrower tyres on too soon on sugar beet, then when it ruts it quite badly. So I always like to just firm the ground where the sprayer's going to run with the wide tyres before we change them. And yeah, it is just marking it a little bit. You can see there, I'll just get out and just show you. It is just marking it and laying the crop down, but it's surprising it will get up, but we wouldn't want to be much later with these. I must admit, the next time we come in with the sprayer in this field, we will have the narrow tyres. You can see there, it has laid that down in that area, but it will get up to a degree, and it won't affect the yield on this crop. So this is a field on the light land we had sugar beet. It was harvested at the end of February, and it's now in with oats, and they're looking really well. Really pleased with these. Got Ruben just putting the last of the nitrogen on there. It had 50 kilograms straight after the drill, this one did, and we're just finishing off now, giving it 120 kilograms. But you can see there's some really good emergence with our Simba Free Flow. And got volunteer, some weeds, broadleaf weeds, just all starting now. The yellowing of that one, the leaf, it has had a pre-emergence of diflufenican, just a small sort of cheap holding spray, and it will take out some of them, but it will need a follow-up with some more. I'll just get out the way here and you can just see this. You can see the dribble bars, as we call them, as they're known. You see there, dribbling the fertiliser on. Yeah, looking really well. We much prefer putting liquid nitrogen on than actually granules, because you have to spread it, and then with the wind that we've got at the minute, you get striping when you're on the wide booms like we are at 32 metres, so it's much more accurate putting liquid on. Just got a little bit of a patch there without any oats, because that's where we had a heap of sewage sludge. You can just see here all the broadleaf weeds growing on the edge here and in the crop there. So these all need, all the little ones there and there, so they all need taking out. So Ruben's just backed in the corner. Now going all the way down. Lovely field to work in, this 50 acres field, probably 600 metres long, 650 metres long round, so it's great for getting good work rates done. See how dry it is. You can see the dust from the wheels, but it is light land, as you can see here. Very light sandy soil, but very dry. We haven't had any rain for about 3 weeks now, and it is very dry. But no, generally the crop's looking good. I'm pleased with this. And these are the what we call naked oats that will end up mostly for the pet food market. You can see there, looking lovely and green and healthy in the sun. There's a prime example. You see the whitening around the edge of the leaves of the weed, and that is what the pre-emergent spray we did. So it was just checking them and holding them, and then we'll put another one on after this. Another post-emergence herbicide to kill everything. So back at the offices, a bit of a tidy up outside, and today we're having air conditioning fitted. Not in the rest of the rooms down there, but just in the office, in the meeting room. And I was going to have ceiling mounted flush fit ones, but there are more money, so I've gone for the wall mounted units. So one in here, which is the office area, and then one in the meeting room area up there as well. We had the bifile doors fitted, which you've seen. So we'll just shut these like that. So that's all good. There's just some catches to go on the floor there to keep them shut. There, and then that's the door shut there to section off the room when we've got a meeting or when the local training group, which can use next door. So it should be all good. Looking forward to getting into this and finished. So that's one of the condensers that goes up on the wall. Simon's got one up this end. Here's the drain. Electrics here. What are the Mitsubishi units, Simon? Yeah.
It is indeed. Yeah, Mitsubishi.
And then that's where the cable, the electrics and the ducting for the second one. So that's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed this week's update. You can see lots going on the farm, and also I don't know whether you've noticed, it's very windy at the minute. I've actually got a new microphone linked into the phone. It wasn't cheap, but it was one that the Countryfile cameraman said was the best and what I'd need to help make the videos better for you all. So I hope it's very noticeable, because I'm facing the wind at the moment, and you can see it's quite breezy, so I hope it's good. Anyway, that's it for this week. Thank you very much for watching. Click like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.